Well, Trump wasn't there. So who did they attack? They attacked Vivek Ramaswamy, who actually is another outsider. How dare these outsiders get involved in our world? Well, there's an authenticity to Vivek that is pretty inspiring. And like, look, I'm not going to, for 1 second, say I am not going to ignore the fact that the guy is not bought and paid for by other billionaires, right? There's something sort of very special about that, in that he's out there giving back effectively, right? He doesn't have to do this. Who the heck wants to do that? 37 years old. He should go enjoy his life. But he has some aspirations, political aspirations, and wants to help the country. And so there he is. And Chris Christie goes after him. Let me show you a little excerpt from that, and we'll get back again to the narrative. But notice like the set, notice the bells and whistle that come with the Fox News machine, along with the prompters and all the heavily scripted questions, this, that, and the other. And then someone like Vivek walks out there and just kind of steals the show, because he's willing to take on the entire system, much like Trump did with Tucker, much like Oliver Anthony is doing right now with the music industry, and much like in my own small way, thanks to your support and help. Again, subscribe, share, like, do all that stuff. You've been able to help me communicate directly with everyone. So let's take a look here. This is Chris Christie, who goes after Vivek comments on climate issues and points to what's happened in Maui, right? Because don't forget, in Maui, they didn't release the water in time because it's not equitable to just immediately give out water. And what are we looking at now? Very, very shameful. So many people dead and so much devastation. So here's Vivek.
People are dying of bad climate change policies than they are of actual climate change.
Governor Haley, are you bought and paid for?
Down by
Hold on.
In the last century.
Listen.
I've had enough.
Wait, hold on.
I've had enough already tonight of a guy who sounds like ChatGPT standing up here.
Because he's smarter than you.
And the last person in one of these debates, Brett, who stood in the middle of the stage and said, "What's a skinny guy with an odd last name doing up here?" was Barack Obama, and I'm afraid we're dealing with the same type of amateur standing on stage tonight.
Come over and give me a hug. Give me a hug just like you did to Obama.
The same type of amateur.
And you'll help elect me just like you did to Obama, too. Give me that
the
bear
same
hug,
type of amateur.
Good comeback.
Hold on.
Good comeback. Give me a hug just like you did Obama, and you'll help me win too. Listen, Fox just needs to give a big thank you to Vivek Ramaswamy, because he saved their ratings. He saved them from being down in the 2 million range. I mean, who wanted to watch that last night except for the excitement that a newcomer actually brought to the stage? Listen, we need more newcomers. We need more people like this guy, right? We're going to talk about this in a minute. And we're going to play more. We're going to play more of this.
Overtime hours for bullshit pay so I can sit out here.
It's great. It's great. And you know what? I'm a snob about music. Total snob. I mean, I'm classically trained. I sang professionally, went to a conservatory, studied in Austria. Like, listen, when it comes to music, I'm just going to tell you, like, I have every right to be a critic. That's like a side little job I can do. And that guy is good. He is really good. We're going to talk about more about that in a second. But again, authenticity, what's real? He's the farmer who's getting what by the government, and talks about this in a way that resonates because it's real. Donald Trump, the guy's, say what you want. Part of his problem is he says too much, right? Like, they ask him about, where could this coronavirus come from? And could it have come from a lab in China? And he says, yes. And then the deep state goes bonkers, and Nature Journal goes bonkers, and Anthony Fauci goes bonkers. And like, they can't control him because he says a little too much about what he thinks. Anyway, he's pretty darn psyched. As you can see, Donald Trump is absolutely positively thrilled at these numbers because he's really into numbers. You know that, right? Like, he loves talking about numbers. Anyway, here we go. Here is his response after these numbers came out. And again, these numbers keep climbing, right? So it's just like Oliver Anthony, who's now at some 22 million, it's probably over 30 million by now on downloads for his song. Those numbers keep climbing. Here is Donald Trump responding with, wow, 231 million views and still counting, the biggest video on social media ever, more than double the Super Bowl. Wow. But please excuse me, I have to start getting ready to head down to Atlanta, Georgia, where murder and other violent crimes have reached levels never seen before, to get arrested by a radical left lowlife District Attorney Fannie Willis for a perfect phone call and having the audacity to challenge a rigged and stolen election. The evidence is irrefutable. Arrest time 7:30 p.m. Now, I am obligated to say, I believe otherwise I will be kicked off every single platform, that the election was not stolen. And you know what? I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, to me, the answer, forget all that for a second, okay? The answer for Republicans in 2024 is to make sure, no matter what, that you have your act together, you have your game on, and that you play fair, but you play smart, which means you got to be better organized. You got to have the grassroots effort. If the left is going to go out there and go round up everybody at the nursing home and make sure that they vote, guess what? You do that too. All right? Hey everyone, Trish Regan here. If you enjoyed that clip, please do me the favor of subscribing to the channel. Just hit that little subscribe button right over there. Did I do that right? Not quite, but you know where it is. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so that you get the alerts, and I'll see you back on the show.